So let's jump to the beast. Okay, V1600 UHD. Okay, is the first 4K model we do. Okay, and well, let's see. Well, this is the front panel. Doesn't mean much for the moment. Let's start to talk from the back panel. Okay, and we will come back to the front one if we need to. Okay, so looking into the back panel, we have 4 HDMI inputs and 2 SDI inputs. Every input has an scaler on it. So independently, input by input, I can work 4K if I want to, 1080p or 1080i. Okay, independent, one by one. So if you see the SDI, they see 12G SDI, 3G SDI, or HD SDI. That's kind of the proof you can connect. It's automatic. Okay, the unit will have an internal resolution. That internal resolution is the one we will have on the outputs. That is one SDI output here, okay, and 3 HDMI outputs. And again, one by one, I will select if I want them to go out in 4K or I want them to go out on HD. Okay, you don't need to have all the outputs in 4K. If you have one 4K projector but you have HD screens, you need to be able to connect to. If you have HD cameras but then you have a computer, I'm going out on 4K now. Okay, so I'm going out in 4K to the mixer. That's input 1. But then BO2 and BR1 HD, they are HD. Okay, so automatically they are detected and they know if we're working in 4K or in HD. If we go, this is a multi-viewer monitor, so this is the multi-viewer connected there. Multi-viewer is always in HD, okay, 1080p. Basically because it's easier for compatibility. Normally operators that we do the jigs and the shows, we don't need 4K, okay? Probably that will be a waste of a screen to the operator. So we place HD, and actually it's more compatible. So let's see. Right now the unit, I will go to the output. Well, this is a prototype. I have to mention you. This is a prototype. This is the only unit we have in Europe, Middle East, and Africa. The units will come in June. Okay, so we still have in 1 month to finalize the prototype, the firmware. Basically, hardware is fixed. But this means that probably what you see here in terms of the order or the words you see here are more like code words rather than the final words. Okay, so it's gonna be a little bit prettier. So now, on the output section, on processing, it's telling me it's working in 4K. Okay, so internally the unit is working in 4K. Okay, good with that. If I go to the inputs, no. If I go to signal status, input number 1 is telling me is in 4K resolution. If I go to which is my computer, input number 2 is telling me it's 1080p. Okay, this means that because the resolution, internal resolution of the V1600T is 4K, because I decided that, my computer is not scaled, it's just passing through. But then input 2, which is the BR1 HD, is being from HD upscaled to 4K. Okay, good. Which other resolutions I can work on? If I want to decrease the internal resolution of the unit to 1080p and work it as a 1080 for everything, let's say, you can work with it, 1080, okay? Okay. Which other resolutions we have? Let me jump into the next slide. Okay, we have Full HD, we have 4K, and also we have DCI. This 4K, which is a little bit more wider, okay, is the Cinema 4K, they call it. Actually, it's from Dolby now. Yeah, from Dolby. Yeah, Dolby is the one. No, what's the name? I forget about it. Okay, good. But thanks to the Ultra Scaler, which is a new scaler we developed, that now it can handle sizes up to 4K. But 4K is not just about resolution, about pixels. 4K also is about HDR. Okay, so, well, this is a summary. What is the HDR? If you are not familiar with the HDR, it's just a composition of images that you can overlap, let's say, so you can have different light patterns or light settings for different for the same image. This example so is very clear. We have an LED screen on the back and a presenter in front. That's a situation we have on events and congress and corporate events very, very, very often. You can see, well, yeah. If not, you can move there, maybe behind Rodrigo. Okay. Anyway, so if you are on a standard SDR, which is not HDR, let's say, okay, basically what happens is that the brightness of the LED screen is making us to burn a little bit this head, and the camera settings are to bright light, so that doesn't allow us to see where the arm finishes and where the chest starts. If we are on an HDR situation, I can see all the head now, and I can see the suit of the guy, the jacket of the guy. Okay, so this is a very good example. So, in live environment where we always do this kind of events, if you're working with LED screens, HDR is a very good thing to have in mind. Okay, and another thing, 4K, it's about the size, pixels. It's about the HDR, but it's also about the space color. Okay, so since we have 4K, we have another new space color thing, which is the BT2020. Okay, created, I think it was Barco, the ones that created it. Basically, what it does, it gives to us a little bit more green and a little bit more red. Okay, and again, I have a picture that shows perfectly the difference between the standard HD space color BT709 or BT2020. Basically, I will not eat this, I will eat this. Okay, so if you're doing things with colors and so on, it's important. So ultrascaler, our ultrascaler, or our ultrascaler we developed, is not just about frame rates and sizes. It's also taking care about HDR and space colors. And independently, input by input, you can input different space colors, and you can input HDR or not, and it will be adapted to wherever we select on the resolution. I'm working now on dynamic range SDR because of the projector, and the space color is 2020. Okay, this is the internal one. Anyway, the different products of different sources I connect, they can have different one of this one. It's going to be a scale, or one adapted in this case. Okay, the word the scale is a little bit not correct for that. Good. If we go back to the front panel, which is this one, you can see, well, these are the program preview, composition tabs, and we're going to talk now about the composition elements. Okay, we can do that will be controlled by all this section here is the composition thing. Okay, what we can do, we have two composition elements. Composition element 1, which will be operated with this section here, can be a picture-in-picture or a keyer, or both at the same time. Okay, that's composition 1. Composition 2, which is this one here, can be another picture-in-picture, so a second picture-in-picture, or another key 2. Okay, so one by one, I can choose if I want to have, for example, I want to have a background, no problem, the logo of the company maybe, and then I will have one picture-in-picture for a PowerPoint, no problem, and a second picture-in-picture for a camera, the guy on the podium speaking. Can I do that? Yes, can I? I will need to do, maybe instead of doing that, can work with just one picture-in-picture, but I will need to have a logo with the DSK. Can I do that? Yes. Okay, let's do a couple examples. This part is not really finished on top, but anyway, you can see I have sorry, let me modify this. Okay, so there you go. This is the picture-in-picture. Okay, let me turn off this menu so you don't get confused. Okay, so right now I have the background, which is my computer, or I can change it to a different source. Okay, and then I have one picture-in-picture here. Okay, I can play with it. Well, I can play with it not too much, to be honest, because this part is not done yet. Okay, but you see there, I can do zooming inside of it and so on. That's composition 1. If I want to do another picture-in-picture, I can do it for composition 2. Okay. Let me go back to the front panel. These 2 buttons, this one will turn on program anything I do on composition 1, and this button DSK will turn on anything I do in the composition 2. Okay, so I can turn on and off pictures. Also, I can control the source that is inside the picture-in-picture. I can control it with this row here. Okay, so right now I'm controlling, for example, the picture-in-picture on top. Okay, if I want to change it, this part, okay, I can control the input that is on the other picture-in-picture. Okay, just by changing here. So these 2 buttons change the color of this. Okay, good. Questions now? Composition is good. I mean, I can try to do. Yeah, actually, I'm doing it. You see that the picture-in-picture 2, which is down here, you can see through it. Okay, it's a combination of picture-in-picture and DSK. Okay, I can get into the menu, DSK, because I'm working on the second composition element, and it's telling me, okay, what do you want to do? A picture-in-picture plus a key. What if I want to have just the DSK? That's what I'm doing now. Okay, and I can control. Well, I can control the gain, things here. Okay. If I want to have just 2 picture-in-pictures, there you go. Okay. Good. Questions? No. Good. Let's turn them off. Okay, and now, thanks to the scalars and the size of the images we're working with 4K, we are introducing something called region of interest. Okay, region of interest is the following. Imagine that this is a typical situation for an event we're doing. Okay, so we have one round table. Okay, imagine this is a 4K shot. Okay, I'm taking this image with a 4K camera. Will be great if I can just react. No? Okay. Sorry, it was my fault. Yeah. I will select different regions of interest. Okay, so from one 4K shot, I will chop another 4 different shots. Okay, that will create channels 1 to 5. It will be the same input 4K camera, maybe coming from the SDI, and I will put that on channels 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then channel 1 will be the general shot, 4K. Everybody's talking at the same time. Then they are interviewing to the first lady. Okay, they go to the second channel. So just with one camera shot, 4K camera shot, I can pretend I have 5 cameras, 1 4K and 4 HD. Okay, this can be chopped in 920 by 1080p. 1080, sorry, 920 by 1080. Okay, and you will be able, with the joystick, you will be able to move this region of interest in the multi-viewer. Okay, so it will be very simple and very easy. So on the first channel, you will see these purple colors, purple boxes to move across them. Okay, good. Finalizing. Supported formats. We are compiling with all the 4Ks out there. Just one limitation, just one exception, which is we don't do 24 frames. Okay, we understand that if you're doing 4K in a professional way, for us 4K starts on 50, 59, or 60. Okay, we want to avoid these kind of products or cameras that tell you it's 4K, and then you discover that on the specifications they say 4K, you have to decrease the frame rate to half of it. Okay, anyway, that camera, if you can set it to HD, it will work anyway. Okay, but we don't do 24 frame rates. All the rest are just everything out there. Okay, good. audio part. The audio part is very complete. Okay, it has an audio mixer inside, very powerful. That has, well, it has 2 XLR inputs and 2 XLR outputs. So you will be able to de-embed. De-embed what? Okay, you can take every HDMI input, can take 2 audio channels. Okay, and the SDI inputs, the 2 SDI inputs, they can take 16 channels. Okay? You can mix all that with delays. By every input, you will have delays. So if you're having problems with the lip sync, you will be able to correct it. Okay, good. And that will be embedded on all the outputs, and it will be embedded on the XLR outputs as well. Okay, we have one function called this time is audio follows video. So we can give to the audio guy, we can give just 2 channels going out from the XLRs, and just the image we see on the screen is the image the guy has on the mixer. Okay, and the same goes to the other way around. If we have an audio guy that is going to make microphones and everything, and we need to take the audio of that console and put it on the SDI to go to maybe a press room or a VIP room somewhere, we can take it from here and embed it on the outputs, on the video outputs. Okay, very powerful. Well, summarizing, basically you have different kinds of inputs, HDMIs, HDIs, that they will work in H channels. Why we need to mention the difference between, we have 6 connectors for the inputs, but we have 8 channels. Okay, when you do region of interest, you start to take more channels. Okay, also because we have 2 still images. You can load from the USB memory 2 still images, and you can have that on 1 channel to play. Okay, so in total we have 6 input connectors, 2 still images, and then the region of interest can make that grow a lot. So we have those connectors, but the mixer is 8 channels to mix them. Okay, then 4 simultaneous outputs, yes, but output by output, let me show you. I can go here, output, connectors, and one by one I can select them if I want them to be fed from the program or preview bus or auxiliary bus. We have one auxiliary bus. Okay, and I can select if I want them to be in 4K or HD. So right now, for example, HDMI 1 down conversion from 4K to HD is disabled, so I'm going to projector in 4K. If I have another screen that I need to play on HD, I can connect it on HDMI 2, and by enabling this, now I can connect to an HD monitor, no problem, at the same time. Okay, and it can be from program, but imagine that this is a monitor for me, so the only thing I need is an auxiliary bus to have my computer. I can change here. Sorry, so the sensitivity of the knob is very sensible at this point. Okay, so I can select an auxiliary. So now HDMI 2 is working on HD, not in 4K, and it's just for the auxiliary. The auxiliary I control with the buttons on top. Okay, good. What else? Well, high quality processing, 444, 10 bits. Okay, normally some of our competitors, for example, the Blackmagic mixers and so on, they normally work in 422. For us, we always work in 444. Okay, because we are on, we deal with LED screens, we deal with computers, where actually the 444 is really a very good help. We are compatible with the 4Ks out there, not just 4K. We can do DCI as well. We are compatible with SDR, HDR, different space colors. We support 12G, also SHD and 3G, SDI, HDMI 2.0. We have all frame sync and converters in all the inputs. Already that's kind of obvious. 2 composition elements, so I can have one background and 2 pictures if I want. Built-in audio mixer, support LAN control. If you do installations or integrations, you can control the unit from the LAN port on the back. Okay, we are introducing the region of interest, LAN conversion, and there's 2 still images. Questions? No? Really? Do you have questions? You can do them. No, you know very well. No? Well, the products are here. I have to go to the airport, but I think we have at least 30 minutes. Okay, so if you want to play with them, are here to play. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you for the people who is watching the streaming. Thank you to the people from Bazardo Video. Thank you, Chavez, Ochefe. Thank you. They always treat me very well, okay, here in Lisbon. Thank you for your time.